in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodlark Roll!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Welcome everybody. Let's go. Hey, it's an early Tuesday, so we're kind of in flux here. But Jeff, what's going on? Our fans out there, thank you for joining us. Welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. Jeff, what's going on, my dude? How we doing on this early Tuesday? You ready to talk some shop with me?
Hell yeah. I'm just living the dream. I'm happy to do it. Feels like a Freaky Friday, but it's not. It's a Tuesday. Reason for the early Tuesday show is that we're getting together tonight for the Knicks game, me, Spiro, and Eli. So pumped about that. Glad that we all care so much about our day jobs that we're willing to make this sacrifice for the people.
Maybe it's a lunch break for some of you guys. Maybe not. But we're here because we had to get a show out to end this miserable 2024 100th season for the New York Giants. We can finally put it to bed. Like I said, if you guys got any like 100-year gear or whatever, I suggest we all just bury that shit. I might I still gotta do that. Once that ground softens up a little bit, because it's hard right now because of the snow and ice.
It is hard
here
right
in
now.
Jersey. I don't know.
I can hardly see the ground right now, so maybe wait till it's a little less frozen. You might have to wait a week or two.
We'll bury it together. Let's make it.
We'll make a thing of it. We'll make a thing of it.
Yes. But anyway, let's get to some real talk here. First of all, well, how was your weekend? How was your Super Bowl experience? Tell us a little bit. Anything happen? Anything out of the ordinary, or just a typical good Super Bowl experience?
It was pretty low key.
I like that.
Went over a friend's house. There was like a dozen people there, a handful of kids running around. So it wasn't crazy. It wasn't nobody. Yeah. The mood was just like, this isn't a Super Bowl that like nobody wanted either team to win. Pretty much. Yeah. That's the vibe I got from the group I was with.
Dude.
We have a friend in our circle that's a big Eagles fan. So like one of our friends was like, I'm pulling for the Eagles for him. And I'm like, fuck him. What? No. And then the game couldn't have gone worse if you were rooting for the Chiefs. How about you? How was your day?
It was good, man. Like I went over to my neighbor's house. It was, like you said, low key, but there was several Eagle fans there. So, the vibe was a little bit different in that, there was several people rooting for the team to win that was dominating. And it just sucks because, I wanted at the very least a good game, right? I wanted to see it back and forth. At the end of the day, bias out of it, whether I hated both teams, one team, whatever, you just like to see, a competitive game. And it felt like literally from Jump Street. I don't even know when it got out of hand. It seemed like within the first 5 minutes of the game. But it was so uncompetitive that you kind of started doing other shit. Like you start worrying about the kids, start, talking with other people, striking up conversations. You barely watch any of the game at that point, because you're like, I'm already sick to my stomach. But your boy also had a rough night because I got fed a lot of tequila shots.
They held you down. I'm sure.
I had no choice but to do these things. Mm-hmm. And the end of the night was not so great in terms of my head in the toilet for the first time in a long time. It was rough. And I think that was just like a culmination of the season. I was just looking to, it's just like I was looking to get all of it out right away. And, the Eagles dominating just was the final straw. And I just puked my brains out. And that ended my 2024 season officially.
That is so perfect, isn't it? Just to have it end like that. My God, is that perfect? Maybe it wasn't the tequila which was making you throw up.
Maybe it was just right. It was going to happen anyway. It could have been. It was just going to happen.
Was your wife going nuts? Was she
loved it, man. Yeah. It was probably the best game she's ever watched, in terms of just no panic. No, it's like
no stress in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It was like their version of the Giants Vikings game back in 2000, where just from Jump Street they were all over them, and there was never a chance to for the other team to even breathe, and there was never a chance to be worried if you're an Eagles fan. It must have been nice. It must have been amazing. Their second Super Bowl win now since 2017. We can't hold we can't hold it over their heads really anymore. They got 2 already. They've been in 3 since 2017.
Dude, they've been in
catching up quickly.
Fuck. They've been in 3 in the last 6-7 years.
It's bad, man. It's bad.
This is real bad.
Yeah. We gotta get our shit in order. That's what happened.
This is real bad. I knew all those things, but once you say wow, they've reached that game 3 times, that means that puts them in the conversation with, Kansas City, San Fran until this year, of teams that are just competing in their window every single year.
It's a mini dynasty.
And they're not going anywhere. They may not lose a game in the regular season next year.
Oh, dude, it's unbelievable. The only solace I can take is I feel like people are catching on to Howie Roseman now. Don't pick up the phone if Howie Roseman calls or tries to offer you a trade. Don't talk to that man. He's going to take you for everything you got and your lunch and your dinner and whatever the hell he's going to come for it all. So they are now picking at the back end of the first round. Don't give him any more Jalen Carters. No more Georgia guys. Please start drafting better, GMs. Stop giving the Eagles all the good players. Okay.
You hate Howie Roseman equally just because he's in that building. But man, does he deserve a ton of credit, man. What a filthy roster he's put together. He's just been hitting on everything. He's he's on a never-ending craps run where 7 is just not coming out. Everything he touches is gold. They fall apart at the end of the last year. And they turn draft picks into Cooper DeJean, a guy a rookie, to come in and pick 6 against Mahomes on his birthday in the Super Bowl. Just unbelievable. So everything has fallen their way, and they've drafted extremely well.
Yeah.
To lose Jason Kelce, who's in the conversation for best center of all time, and not miss him is unbelievable.
They had injuries along the offensive line too. It's it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. It's so well stocked.
And even though Saquon was kept at bay, I mean the fact that they ran up the score like that on the Chiefs without Saquon, they deserve to win. They're the best team. They haven't lost. I don't think they lost since September.
You might be right. They started they had 2 losses early.
They were 2-2. Yeah. And then they just never looked back. Then Saquon just went nuclear. I do want to talk, we were going to talk about the halftime show. We'd rather have Eli here for that, just to get the full discussion on that. So we'll save that for next time. But I do want to ask you, former Giants players doing things before the Super Bowl, such as Michael Strahan is the one that you're right. Sorry, Jerry. You're absolutely right. The Eagles lost to the Commanders late in the season.
Yes.
Good call.
Yes.
They still put up 35. I think.
It was a battle.
Yeah. That was a great game. But Michael Strahan, I understand he loves Saquon, but he has shown waving the Eagles flag in support of Saquon, which a lot of Giants fans felt, they want to see Saquon succeed. And I get that. Sure. He's a likable guy, great player. We watched him in blue for 6 years, but to wave an Eagles flag is just so over the top and not necessary. He could have easily been Saquon, I love you. I want the best for you. I can't touch that flag. Why? That would have been fine.
Right. And you would never have, you wouldn't have Giants fans all over you. You'd have your dignity still. And
how did you think this would go? How could this?
Jerry put it perfectly. Giants Insider talked about last night. The Eagles fans will forever have one of our best players in franchise history waving a fucking Eagles flag. Just they have that video now forever, and it's just ridiculous that, again, like you said, and he wasn't the first one. I think Brandon Jacobs is go Eagles. I'm rooting for my guy Barkley. Root for your guy Barkley, but don't root for the team you hated your whole life, your whole Giants career and after. I don't understand.
Brandon Jacobs caught a lot of shit for that too. And then he was like, "No, I always hated the Cowboys. The Eagles were whatever." I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, in reality, they're equal. They're the same.
Yes.
It's your division rival. I get you hate the Cowboys. We saw it on the field. But damn, you can't do that. You just can't. And then Amani Toomer is the other one. After the Strahan thing broke and everyone's focused on Strahan, I actually like what Toomer had to say. And he came out and was like, everyone's focused on Strahan as if he's the problem. And by the way, Strahan was one of the only former Giants players like saying the things you wanted him to say, like speaking the truth, like watching Saquon going off and being like, well done, Giants. You know, like he was saying it like it is. But Amani Toomer came out and was like, this is a message to ownership. I hope John Mara sees this and it pissed him off. I hope he's going crazy right now. Seeing Strahan wave an Eagles flag is another thorn in the side of this horrendous, miserable season that he's right. You know, and in that respect, like this should be really eye-opening for John Mara. He's obviously seeing all this stuff. I feel like he's sensitive to this stuff.
He knows.
But
he knows.
What were your thoughts on what Toomer had to say?
You know, part of me was like, at first when I saw, I was like, you know what, you're right. Like this is not a Strahan issue. It's not a Jacobs issue. They would have never been rooting for the Saquon on the Eagles had we just handled our business and kept him in Giants blue and had an offensive line good enough to let him do what he's doing now. We shouldn't be in this position. We shouldn't be rooting against a guy, a homegrown talent like that. But alas, here we are. You know, and it sucks because, you know, how do you, like the fans are stuck in the middle here, right? I feel like we want to stick up for our team. We still have to have pride for our team, and we, you know, I don't know if you're like me, but like I hate the Eagles first and foremost. Cowboys, yes, but like it's if you grew up,
it's 1A, it's 1A and 1B, but there's a hatred for Philly fans that makes them the 1A.
And it's like a larger issue for me. It's like, you know, Strahan and Jacobs were probably our two most outspoken, you know, leaders and ambassadors, you know, and they always like I felt like they were stronger, you know, leaders. And then you come and like you see them now rooting for the Eagles, and then you see the Empire State Building turning green, and you're seeing like all this shit. Like we lost our pride as a fucking city, you know, and like we had nothing left, and it's just a larger issue for me that I feel like, you know, everybody's to blame for sure, but like I need to get some pride back in our franchise, in our city, in everything told, man. And it's just pissing me off to no end. It disgusts me that we're here. They've been here for so long.
You're right, dude. It's these extra things happening where it's like, what the fuck happened to us?
Yeah. The roles
like
imagine the roles reversed. Would any of the big guys and C said it like would any like would Dawkins or McNabb or any of these Eagle greats do it if the Giants were in the Super Bowl? No chance. No chance, dude.
Never. Like when the Giants went on their Super Bowl runs, I don't remember seeing a single rival wave a Giants flag or support the Giants in any way. Any way. And I know, like in hockey, you could make the argument Rangers and Devils. There's that going on. And my wife comes from a hockey family, right? From a Devils family. She has two brothers, and they are both diehard Devils fans. And I remember going to a family party where the Rangers were in the playoffs. This is a while back, several years ago. And the Rangers got scored on, and both brothers were like, yeah, and high-fiving right in front of me. Right in front of me. And I was like, you two disgust me.
Right? You respected it.
But of course I did.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of fan I am, especially with the Giants. And I said it weeks ago. This Super Bowl lives on forever. It's short-sighted to root for Saquon, who won't be in the league in however many years. You know, this is a trophy in their case. They're now catching up, and they're in a window, and they're probably going to be back. They're going to be back in the Final Four next year. Like anything can happen, but they're just so stacked. It's obnoxious.
Yeah. And with young guys, young talent everywhere. It's not like, oh, you know, they have this guy that's right at the edge, last Super Bowl star player. He's going to be. No, they're set. And someone again in the chat, G-Men 2011. They're one of the youngest defenses in the league.
Oops,
you know, sorry. Anyway, they're one of the youngest defenses in the league, and they're only going to get better. Like they lost their starting middle linebacker, and they didn't skip a beat. They just keep everything that Roseman touches turns to gold. Everything, coordinators, players, you name it. Like they just are clicking on all
And
cylinders.
to make it even worse, we all hate Sirianni, most punchable face in the NFL. Most would agree. Even he like toned it down, and I think he was humbled. I think he was humbled by last season falling apart, and he knew he was on the hot seat a little bit this year because they saw the roster. They knew what they should be able to do, and so now he's going to get a contract extension. And listen, there's a stink that you have after winning the Super Bowl, and we've talked about it, but like in 2007, we were a 500 team and we just ran the table, beat the undefeated Patriots. And then how did we start the next season? 11-1, steamrolling people, because now you can do it. And you just have to get back there. Confidence. And so now the Eagles have that confidence. Jalen Hurts reached the top of the mountain, MVP. I don't know, man. It's bad. Saquon's got a few more good years in him. So they're going to be rolling, and they keep drafting like this. I don't know how long it's going to take, but like, how do you catch up to, like, the league is behind them?
Yeah, listen, again, much like anything else, we have to just focus on ourselves. We are so far, like, I saw this sentiment a lot from Giants fans. Like, people didn't even really care that the Eagles won. That's the scary part. Like, we should have been like just miserable, like, but no, like, we're so far gone for what the Eagles are doing that like we're not even too pissed off that they won again. We have to focus on ourselves. We have to get ourselves right. As you know, Steve just said, like, we got to start drafting in the trenches, get right again, get back to Giants football. We have, you know, it's like the only way we're going to catch up to them is if we improve our trenches, right? Because like that kind of shit travels, you know, all the time. Good defensive lines and good offensive lines. That's how you match up with them. So get better there first and foremost.
You got to get dominant. You got to get dominant there to even have a chance, because they've got the best of both over there. And
that's it, man.
Thank you, C's. Yeah, Authentic did some digging today. They focus on the trenches every single year, and that's how you stay competitive. Because even without top tier quarterback play, I'm saying since '89, not Jalen Hurts, I'm saying you can continue to compete because you can have running lanes. You give the quarterback a little more time. It all starts there, right? And then once you are able to upgrade and get the Jalen Hurts and the Saquon and the AJ Brown, the Devontae Smith, like, those are luxury picks because you got the trenches intact. Like, it's insane what they've been able to do, but there's a bit of a blueprint there, and they're fucking stacked. And the only thing you could say, and this, granted, they've moved coordinators before, but they are losing their offensive coordinator. Yeah. Kellen Moore is now head coach of the Saints. Good for him. Yeah. And so we'll see what they do. But when you just hand it off to Saquon 80% of the time, right? I don't know.
Like that's the thing. Like I never found, and you know, respect to Kellen Moore, like you said, I didn't find their offense to be like innovative. Like, you know, they're fooling anybody. No, like they ran Saquon down your throat until you fully, you know, stop him. Then they're going to just throw it right over you after that because they have two stud wide receivers and a good quarterback and an offensive line that's going to give them time. Like, it's not rocket science. Like,
no,
it's easy when you have that line.
You're right. It's not complicated. The hard part is drafting those people.
Getting it right. Yeah,
the right people. Right. And I don't know. And you talk about, well, has he missed? And this is a good comment from Vinny here. If you do make a mistake, if you have an opportunity to upgrade, or you want a good insurance policy, don't be afraid to move on. Like, they did give Carson Wentz big money. He was an MVP candidate early in his career. He was having a year before he had that knee injury. I could still see the play at the goal line, which I'm sure he regrets.
Yeah. Hey, the Eagles, they also took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. People killed him for that.
Killed him.
They didn't skip a beat.
Does it matter? Yeah.
No.
You figured out how to get AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, but imagine if they had drafted fucking Justin Jefferson with this.
Oh my God, I can't.
Too. I'd be sick.
Anyway, like, so again, it's twofold. Like, you know, I don't think we should be waving Eagles flags, you know, around. Like have a little bit of self-respect. Have some respect for your Giants. And I think it's funny because Strahan, I don't know if you heard the video I made, but after they clipped back after you know, the video of him waving the flag, he's like, I think I'm gonna have to change my address in New York. There's gonna be some New York fans that are not too happy about that. But you know, again, it's misdirected hostility. It's we're directing our anger towards Strahan and the Jacobs of the world because we're not good. If we were good, like, and we just lost to them, like, you know, in a close battle, I don't think they're doing that. I think they're having so much pride, but we've lost it all. Our former players are losing it. Like, it sucks, dude. We're so broken. So broken.
We truly, our souls are broken. You're either numb or just so fucking angry. But I mean, the one thing I love about Giants fans, the conversation goes on 24/7. You know, we still have daily spaces on X.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that I could pop in, you know, if I have a 5-minute car ride, I usually throw that on, and I don't have time to speak that often, but I pop on, I just listen. I just love the personalities in this fan group, even the crazy ones, especially the crazy ones.
Yes,
they're my favorite.
Yes.
But I just love, and holy shit, a super chat. It's our revivalist of the month, Bartlett.
I love it.
You know what? Right on time, Bartlett. Talk about it's literally next on our list to discuss. Thank you so much for the super. The only way the Giants, you got to build the trenches. Obviously, I think we're closer on the defensive line, right? You get a stud defensive tackle next to Dex, and you got the pieces now. You still need depth, obviously.
Yeah.
And we got to get better pretty much everywhere. But you got to get it. Tommy DeVito is the only quarterback on our roster. Shout out to Ethan, who may have started stirring this pot single-handedly, but the Matthew Stafford rumors are picking up steam. Right? There's rumors to bring him over to the Giants, and at first it's like, why on earth? Why? It could be contract, could be age, could be the Rams looking to move on. They're talking about moving on from Cooper Kupp as well. So maybe some changes coming in LA. For me, if I'm Sean McVay, I'm not giving up on a quarterback. I'm not giving a quarterback away he finished his season in the last 9 games. I think he was 15 touchdowns and 1 pick. He's playing at a high level. Once he got his 2 horses back, his 2 receivers, he was still cooking with gas. Yeah. So he's still got some good ball left. I'm not sure McVay would want to move on for that. If I'm McVay, I draft one and put him behind him. But it could be a contract thing. But then Stafford's wife, I don't know if you saw this post. She's a talker. She's a talker. I don't know what she does exactly.
I think she's got her own podcast. Yeah.
So she also posted something on Instagram saying, you know, it was a blurry picture of them out. And she said something like, our future might be blurry, but blah, 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 meaning changes are coming. It sounds like. And there's rumors here. So it brings a question. Giants need a vet. They need a rookie.
Yeah.
Where does Matthew Stafford stack up for you in terms of the potential? Let's call it Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Cousins. Maybe as the big 3.
Right. Well, again, it's the Stafford thing's still a pipe dream because we don't know if he's ever going to shake loose. But if he were to shake loose in terms of talent and no drama, and you know the guy that's still doing it, and you've seen him do it recently, you know, he's at the top of the list. Stafford at the top of the list. But for me, again, if he's not available, the next one is Aaron Rodgers, and I really want to entertain it and I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's so full of drama. He's about me guy, and this and that, and all that noise. I get it, but again, I keep leaning into this. I keep saying this. We have to lean into the chaos at this point. Like we are already the shittiest shit show in football. Like what's another circus act, right? Like what's another act? Yeah. Like it's if Aaron Rodgers comes in, and again, in my plan, I'm also drafting a quarterback if at number 3 potentially. You know, if Ward is there, if Shador is there, and maybe even later on, like if Ewers is there later on, I'm still taking a developmental quarterback.
Yeah.
But what's the quickest path to success? Like we need an Aaron Rodgers or Stafford really or you know, Jameis Winston, for all his fun, he's not going to get us into contending games. He's not going to beat the Eagles. You know, he's not going to go in and beat Dallas consistently and outduel Dak. He is like the very epitome of like a veteran bridge. But these guys can actually win games in the meantime, show the young bucks how to roll, you know, and then, you know, maybe they change the fortunes of this team. You have an Aaron Rodgers who's a pissed off vet who doesn't want to end his career the way it ended in New York.
Yeah.
Well,
surely a cranky old man is exactly what the Giants need in this locker room.
Hey, he's pissed off. He wants to prove everyone wrong. That's what I'm banking on. That guy's a goat, dude. He's a Hall of Fame talent. I'm gonna bet on that. I'm gonna bet on talent. But what do you think? What are your
quick,
thoughts?
Shout out to our fearless leader, who is prioritizing meeting up with us tonight, and he's taking care of business today, which we fully support. Getting together, we got to do that. So we'll get together with Eli for another show soon. So stay tuned. But for me, if that's the three, Stafford is a runaway first choice. And I'm not sure contract-wise how they all stack up and what the cap hit would be and all of that. Because if you're bringing in an expensive vet, that $40 million in space thins out pretty damn fast. If there's a $30 million cap hit for one of these quarterbacks, like you're talking about one good free agent after that, or two mediocre ones, depending on position. And so your cap is already gone once you bring in a vet like that, which sucks. This is the bed we've made.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe Shane. So again, it's not Strahan's fault we're in this situation, right? that's the point Toomer's making. But give me Stafford. Like, I think Stafford is the only one of those that I would be genuinely excited about because number one, I think I still think he's got 2 good years left minimum, but he is no drama. He throws with anticipation. He throws in tiny windows. He's a super smart quarterback, and he throws no look passes too. Did you know that?
He does do that.
Malik Neighbors, he would feed Neighbors like something crazy. And then, there's potential that Cooper Kupp may want to follow him.
Yeah.
Who could be another good locker room guy, a super smart football guy, a good locker room guy. Sure. And like, much love to, the receivers that we have here, but none of them are moving the needle like a Cooper Kupp would, outside of Neighbors.
No, absolutely.
So I'd be excited about that. Rodgers would be an absolute shit show, and I would be furious if they do that. That would.
But why? So you think he'd with what went on with New York? You don't think he'd kind of like settle down? Like not settle down. I know he's gonna be a distraction ultimately, but like I think you're getting the best version of him, right? Like he knows he's got this is a 1-year deal. You could end your career on a high note. And let me just read the stats for you real quick. Aaron Rodgers still in 17 games, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, almost 4,000 yards. Are you not signing up for that as a Giants fan? When was the last time we saw those numbers?
I think.
It's like, yeah, right. A long time ago. Like, and I love Stafford too, but he threw for less yards, less touchdowns. He only had 20 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And, the numbers weren't even as good. And it's just funny how everybody pictures it. It's like, you think, hey, Stafford's got a lot left in the tank, but Aaron Rodgers still outnumbered him by quite a significant amount.
But some context. He lost Puka after week 1, lost him for several weeks. That's his wide receiver 1. Cooper Kupp was out for a while, but when he did get those guys back, he started cooking again.
Agreed.
So even if you put them, equal talent wise, give me the guy that's a little bit younger and is no drama. Like the Giants don't need another headache. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. I don't think Rodgers is a good teammate. I think he says too much publicly. And if he has a rookie, he's going to say his bullshit. It's not my job to train him and mentor him, where Stafford would just be a good teammate. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
If you were talking about you want to improve the culture and get a good locker room guy, Stafford is your guy. But again,
that's my worry too, though. Like, so we're signing him probably to a 2. Like, if we're trading for him, we're probably what's the trade look like? Because are we mortgaging our future for a 37-year-old on a team that's not particularly close? I know we'll be better with Stafford, but are you giving up second-round pick for Stafford, and you're paying him, right? Yeah. So that's what comes with that aspect. And I know it sounds better, but you have to give up a lot more. Where Aaron Rodgers is coming with just the money, and you could theoretically get done for a year, hopefully. And you can't draft. It'd be harder to draft a rookie quarterback when you just signed Stafford for 2 years, and he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? You just signed me, and then you're giving me you're probably with the first round pick, you're taking another quarterback." I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, and it would be a trade scenario. And if there's one thing the Giants as a team should not be doing is throwing away future picks when that's exactly what we need to rebuild a team. Especially, I don't trust Joe Shane really with much. I'll be honest with you. But in the same vein as not having to trade draft picks and could be even cheaper, where does Russell Wilson fit in?
Just was about to ask you that. For me, I know what he did this last year, and I think he's a fine quarterback. Russell Wilson's not a needle mover for me, not at all. Like and you want to talk about personalities and like people that might not jive well. Say what you want. Russ seems like a nice guy, but wherever he goes, there's always something going on there, right? Whether it's be with the coaches, the other players, something going on. Russ had a great start to the year. Probably not to blame for Pittsburgh only winning 10 games and like flaming out, but that offense wasn't rip roaring through the league. I wasn't scared of Russell Wilson going into the playoffs. Like, he is not enough of a guy to make a difference here. He's going to come with the same like, hey, you want to draft somebody behind me? Like, he's not going to love that either. So I'm out on Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins for that matter. If you want to lump them both in the same kind of category, I'm out on both of them. It's Stafford and Rodgers for me. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
That's fair. I get it. Like, I wouldn't be excited about Russell Wilson, but I would be encouraged to not throw a ton of money at or future picks at the position and accept that next year is not it regardless, right? We're buried in a 4-team division. This is not a competing year. So don't throw away draft picks and don't waste all of your cap space on an aging veteran that ultimately is not going to make the playoffs anyway. Yeah. And we're also not a destination place to go. Right. Who wants to wrap up their career in a shit show with a head coach GM on a hot seat?
Okay, but all right, let me just paint this real quick little picture for you though, man. Like, I know it seems far off right now. But like, I don't think our line is real far away. I saw some actual progression in that area last year prior to Andrew Thomas getting hurt. You add a swing tackle and a primetime guard, and I truly believe this offensive line will be like at the very worst average, which we would sign up for that 10 out of 10 times. Like, but I think it could truly be above average, and you have Tracy, you have Neighbors, you have some guys here that can do stuff. If you get some talent at the quarterback position, I don't truly believe this offense is. I know it's stupid to say. I know when we heard Shane say it, we're like, "Fuck you, we're not far away." But I really believe we're a few acquisitions away from being able to have at least an average offense, and that's what we're looking for. Get us to 7 wins. Play good ball, man. Like, I don't think we're that far away there. I know that's shitty.
Are you going back to your mantra? Make losses fun again.
Yeah, I would like to make some fucking losses again. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be bad. Like, we just got to get our next quarterback, man. Let's speak of next quarterback real quick. Chris.
Hey, Chris Peace.
We miss you, Chris. What's going on, my man? Giants are all about culture, whims, and vibes. Next QB should be Jameis Winston and drafting Ward Sanders. Hey, sign me up. I'm for fun. If we're like on the fun train, if we're like going to make losses fun again, I think Jameis would be fun. To that point, if you are signing a Winston, he's not going to really be pissed off that you're drafting a quarterback at 3. He's not looking for his job. He's going to be for the culture. But if you get a Rodgers or Stafford, I think getting a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd to like a Will Howard or a Ewers or someone like that is better off.
That's fair. Yeah. And I know Aaron Rodgers, you said he's going to be pissed off, and like, wasn't he kind of in a prove it thing last year? I mean, the Jets were an absolute shit show, obviously.
Yeah,
but I mean, but Rodgers is part of that. If you're talking about culture, he burned that culture to the ground. I mean, the head coach and GM got fired mid-season, and they put all their eggs in Aaron Rodgers' basket. So he's got to have some responsibility in all that. I
agree wholeheartedly, bro.
But Jameis Winston, man, he's lovable and awesome. But I mean, do you want to roll him out there? If we had Stafford, I feel like you have to be taken somewhat seriously. I think he's respected. He's a Super Bowl champ. And you could say the same for Rodgers, but I think you got muted. Your mic thing fell out. So you got to be taken a little bit more serious if Stafford is out there, especially if he were to bring Cooper Kupp with him and you have Malik Neighbors. Then you look like an NFL offense. But if you roll Jameis Winston out there and you don't really upgrade the receiver room all that much, I don't think it's going to go well. I think Jameis Winston will be 0-5 and will be benched for a rookie pretty quickly because David's going to have to save his job and he's going to have to show flashes with the rookie.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. It's tough to see where the right question is. There's options, but you're gonna have to nail it. Like Shane's gonna have to hit 5,000. That's what it is.
Yeah,
and it's not likely at this point. Doesn't seem like it, at least.
Not so much. So tonight, thank you, Chris Peace, for the super. We have a little bet to settle tonight. Preseason, we all picked our 8 division winners, and Eli handled us on that. He took it home. So tonight, Eli does not have to take his wallet out. Me and Spiro got to pay for it. Are you going to do a bucket of beers to your face again, or what's your drink?
I might have to do bucket of beers. People, I'm a simple man. Hey, listen, when we have the wings, we have the beers, and it's a great time at Tommy's. And the Knicks are playing on 7:30. It's going to be a fun time as always. We get to brainstorm. We have to drink a lot of booze together. What's better than that? My butts.
It doesn't get better than that. We have so much fun every time. All right, this has been fun, man. Anything else from you?
Listen, on to 2025. If we can, as New York Giants fans, let's try to be positive again. Let's try it. Let's try it. Like we went through the worst year of our lives. Now it's time we have to flush it. Flush that year, and let's start hoping for the best. I know we're at each other's throats, but let's galvanize. Let's get Eli into the Hall of Fame next next year, and let's just try and hope for positive vibes back, because we need to change this up, man. I don't know about you. What do you think, man?
Yeah, we're gonna have fun no matter what. That's what we do, and so our job is to. You come to certain shows for different things, right? Our job is not to necessarily inform you on the X's and O's and the schemes and all of that. Our job is to entertain. We're Giants fans hanging out with you at the bar. That's what this is. So we will continue to do that. And it starts tonight by going to the bar. And let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Let's go Rangers. 4 nations coming through. It's going to be a fun little tournament. But either way, the Rangers got to turn it on. The Knicks got to turn it on. They got smoked. They got smoked by the Boston Celtics in another litmus test thing, and they failed miserably again. So I don't know where Knicks fans' heads are at, but you got to get ready against the Pacers again, set things straight again. This team still has talent to get there. I know that. They just got to put together, man. They got to put together.
I want to see them bounce back after a tough loss against Boston. That's what I would like to see. Come out and make a statement tonight. K-Mac might do a fly. We'll be at Thomas in Staten Island. You guys want to swing by, buy Spiro beer, make him do a shot of tequila, by all means.
No more tequila for now. No more tequila.
All right. On behalf of our fearless leader, Eli Rex,
love you. The
big man, the big dog, Mr. Glass Half Full, Spiro Amal Hefe. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We will see you soon.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodward Roll!
Let's go.